Thank you, thank you, thank you. Welcome back. Turn to your neighbor and ask them, have they eaten? And did they enjoy the lunch? Where is your neighbor? I'm seeing some of your neighbors missing. And we agreed you're the one who's bringing back your neighbor. Where is your neighbor? I am tempted to send you out to find your neighbor and come back with them. But I'll not. I'll ask the ushers to please step outside, all the ushers, and bring back the participants so that we can continue together. So our ushers, please help us. You may be seated. Welcome back for a powerful afternoon as we continue to explore these and unpack these topics. This afternoon we've got wonderful topics. We'll be looking at an empowered woman. That will be our first panel discussion. And then we'll go out into our breakout rooms. We will now, after the first panel discussion for all of us, we'll then go out to 2 different breakout rooms. So we shall be giving you the topics of the breakout rooms. We'll go out for breakout rooms, and then we'll go for tea from the breakout rooms, and we'll gather here again at 5 p.m. as we continue for the evening session. But right now, I would like to welcome one of our sponsors from Core Bank, the head of women banking, Rachel Murage. Are you here? Rachel Murage. Rachel Murage. I honestly do not know her, so I am looking at the lady who deals with our deaf congregation. Rachel Murage from Core Bank. Are you not here? Rachel Murage. I wonder if Martha Mukuru is here. Martha Mukuru from Soil Merchants. Okay, both of them are not here. We will give them another slot when they come. For now, I want to bring up another panel, but I will ask one of the moderators, Rose Maura, please come up. Rose Maura is a member of our church, a great teacher. She has really taught me a lot of things. She facilitates a lot on leadership, empowerment of women. If we call for those trainings for women, please come up. So Rose will bring on the next topic. Rose, you can bring them on.
Thank you very much, Pauline. I am so delighted to be here today. A number of times I've made fun with Pauline saying how she's such a good market. I think in this cathedral, when we begin a TV for women, Pauline needs to be doing the advertisement and saying, welcome, the next Women of Faith conference upcoming. She's a great speaker. So thank you very much. A very good afternoon to all of us. Thank you very much for joining us. I know it's a session after lunch. How are you feeling? Sleepy? Drowsy? But we've had a session of praise, or should I call Reverend Tom again? So allow me to invite my co-moderator. I think the chairperson, Canon, and the Minister for Women Ministry decided I cannot do this alone. So they decided to bring a young person to empower me, because we are discussing about an empowered woman. So allow me to invite on stage Kevin. He says his name has an S at the end. So Kevin, please come up as we try and look at this session of empowered women. And allow me to add something, an empowered Christian woman. And an empowered Christian woman, as I set up the seats, please ensure you give some good spacing, because women, we don't want to squeeze around as you set the chairs for 3 and 2, space a bit. So it is one who finds strength and authority through our faith in Jesus Christ. is the person who takes personal responsibility for a life while living with humility and serving others. So ask your neighbor, do you serve others? A long time ago when I was in a management level and I used to moderate a session on Saturdays in my workplace, something I volunteered to do on industrial relations. It is not my area, but I did it. So my executive director used to most of the time be in the office on Saturdays. And when the caterer would come and serve the students, we were doing a program with USIU, I'll also pick a tray and place some snacks and refreshment and knock at her door and take to her. And Jacqueline used to be surprised. And she said, Rose, I did not imagine that any woman can serve me because the secretary is a woman, she doesn't, but I don't know where you get the humility to do that. And so I want to say, when you're serving, even when it's another woman, like the one who is seated next to you, when you're extending the grace of service and humility, it does not take you down or become lesser. Maybe that's why I got my promotion and got the opportunities that I later got. So empowered Christian woman is drawn from the identity in Christ, from the desire for the worldly power. You can only draw that desire from Christ, not the other things that you, I've seen some videos. The young person who was here, they say they are on TikTok. Okay, at times we check. And I've seen ladies, when they are going for outing, all of us, they want to parent the kind of vehicles that they are driving. Very nice. But that does not give you the power as a woman to continue serving, but you can only draw that from God. An empowered woman demonstrates courage in their leadership, in their kindness, in their spiritual growth. And there are some of the core aspects of empowerment. I'm still waiting for my team here to get ready because I will continue speaking as they do. Yes. We are ready for you. Yes, my teacher. Thank you very much. So the core aspects of empowerment is identity in Christ, your personal responsibility, humility and service, and spiritual growth, as I mentioned. And this is demonstrated through your leadership, your courage and resilience when you face challenges. How do you navigate through them? Even when things are really tough, do you show the frustrations on your face? It is in your kindness and wisdom, at least to give those talents that God has given you to be able to offer service, is to advocate and use the power and the positions that you have to be able to advocate for others, not for yourself. For me, I say when I'm advocating for others, God sorts my issues. And so I'll not struggle in my issues because I'm advocating for another woman. It is in your faithfulness and perseverance. Allow me to bring a quote by an author that I like so much, and an author called Dr. Derek Samuels, who has authored this book, which you buy it, have a page that I've written a chapter and I've endorsed this book, and this driving vision with value and virtue. That's why it's called the V3. And on page 127, it is better to make it with some mistakes along the way than to be perfect and not make it at all. So allow me to invite Kevin to bring on stage our panelists who are already here to be able to start these discussions. Kevin.
Thank you very much, Rose. Could you give Rose some hearty claps? And considering it's after lunch, I bet you're energetic enough to add some 1 or 2 additional claps for her to really feel great on it. Thank you very much. My name is Kevin Randiek. This particular youth church is where I serve and attend each and every particular Sunday. And it's a great honor to be here today. Probably before I get into ushering in the 3 panelists who are going to enrich this particular session, let me also just take this chance to say I am a big beneficiary of standing on the shoulders of women who have supported me careers. When I look at, or rather my journey as a young person, having transitioned out of a corporate role into leading a young business, my client number 1 was anchored by a woman. My client number 2 was anchored up by a woman. And my client number 3 was anchored up by a woman. So it's on the shoulders of women today. I stand on this particular podium to just ensure that as we talk the conversation around empowerment, it turns out to be enriching, it turns out to be energizing, and it also turns out to be inspiring in urging us to change our lives and really be empowered when we are referring to finances. And with that short interlude, allow me to bring in on stage this particular gentleman, and in reference to the brief that was given unto us, they have really played a big role in ensuring that this particular panel and session comes in. And I want this session to be energetic. So please, if you're not able to clap, try and thump up your feet, all right? So this gentleman is called Mr. Erastus Mutura. He is from ABSA, so some round of applause for ABSA for also making this particular session happen. A brief description in terms of who Erastus Mutura is. He is the head of SME banking at ABSA Bank Kenya, bringing over 20 years of experience in the banking sector. Erastus, please, the podium is yours, and have a seat. Thank you for being on standby. The next lady I'm about to bring up, she goes by the name Reverend Beatrice Meso. And please, some round of applause as they get on stage for them to be really energized on that. Reverend Beatrice Meso has a high track record of demonstrated leadership in vast professional sectors, and she possesses an extensive and unique blend of experiences, having worked at Kenya Power and Lighting Company, to being the chair of the Institute of Certified Secretaries in Kenya, serving on various boards, with an example of the board she served being Steamer Sacco. Some hearty round of applause for Reverend Beatrice, please. Then the next lady who makes this particular panel complete for us today is Reverend Patience Wanzala. And in terms of the brief description of her bio given, she is Reverend Captain Patience Santa Wanzala. How many names are those? Hey, some claps for her. A priest in the Diocese of All Saints Cathedral, attached at the ACK St. Luke's Kenyatta, but working for the Anglican Missions Africa as the Director of Training and Capacity Building. And as fate will have it, we have a complete panel, and I believe that this particular session is going to be enriching. Is that the case? Some thumbs up, please. All right, some thumbs up on this center. I have your attention. And upstairs, some thumbs up. Oh, all right, we have the attention, Rose. So let's take it away. I'll leave it to Rose to start it up for us. Rose, please. Yeah.
Thank you very much, Kevin, and a warm welcome to you, our panelists. It's an honor to be able to moderate this session, and especially the session having two powerful women who are your spiritual mothers, who nourish us spiritually. So you will forgive us in case we do not quote the right quotes, but the Bible verses are here, so they'll be able to correct us. And also having an expert on the area that I'm advising the government on is SMEs. And I'm so honored to have Erastus here from ABSA Bank, who are also good partners in area of MSMEs. These days we call it MSMEs in this country. So very welcome to all of you. And just starting with you, Erastus, and we are glad that you are in this session as a gentleman. That shows the support we are having from men as us women. A lot of us women, we struggle with issues of financial management, our own budgetary, and I think the women who have attended the sessions that we've had in leadership, I keep on asking, how many of us have personal budgets, annual budgets? How many, hands down, don't put up. How many of us have their visions and mission and core values set for ourselves other than the organizations of the church that we serve in? And so, Erastus, it's a question that we'd like to ask you about how do we go about ourselves as women to ensure that we deal with issues financial management well so that even back at home, our spouses can see we are adding value, because really, if we don't have the knowledge of financial management, it becomes an issue. Please feel free to introduce yourself first. If we did not do it well, maybe you can mention the ID number of your parents also, wouldn't mind.
That's a good one. The ID number, my mother's ID number starts with 02, and I know there's a 7 at the end. I'm a product of a strong woman. Thank you so much for having me. I want also to bring the regards of my colleagues and my boss, who is also a woman, Elizabeth Wasuna, Head of Business Banking. I also want to bring the regards of the Head of Women in Business within ABSA. She's called Joyce, again, another woman. And also the business club that takes people places, again, headed by Helen. So I think it was just fair for me to represent all of them, where we call it a he for she. So thank you so much for that question. I think I want to start by stating that women have a lot of money, by the way. And the beauty about women is because they believe in themselves, and the other disadvantage they have is because so many people look up to them. They have so many responsibilities. So when it comes to a woman managing money, sometimes making a decision is quite hard, because she has someone to take care of, she has something to take care of. She wants to build herself, but when there's an emergency, she will start with the child, she will start with the husband, and she will start with the sister, she will look after the mother. And I think women manage their money in a very dynamic way, different from men. When I look at the statistics within the bank, I find even the way they open their accounts, including the secret accounts, the ones who have secret accounts are not here, who they put as the next of kin, even when they have ticked up they are married, Mrs. So-and-so, but next of kin, again, you find it's either the sister, the mother, or a child who is 18 years, sometimes even below. They are not here, but they are represented. But the other beauty about women is they believe in themselves and they believe in small steps. That's why they sustain their groups. Women-owned, led groups for investments, they do very well, because a woman will start by contributing 50 bob per meeting, 100 bob per meeting. But then the men, they want to know how many millions and how many buildings and apartments are we putting on month 2, month 3. So the dynamics about a woman managing their money is very different from the men, again determined by other circumstances. But for you to be effective in the way you manage your money, one of the things that then you truly need is a plan. And I'm happy that you have outlined that, a question you've asked before. Because whenever you have money on your side, a plan will always show up, whether you like it or not. Somehow, I read somewhere in the social media, I drew a lot of lessons from that. Somebody was just passing a joke that was going this way. The time you walk with your money in your pocket, in your purse, in your bag around, cash money, that's the time you get a call from Ushago that your uncle has swallowed a slasher and money is needed. Something weird will just come up. Whenever you walk around with money, you feel things calling you at the exhibition, and you feel like commanding everybody somewhere. You feel a bit happy because money is good company. Although money doesn't, it's not the only answer, but it makes a difference to have some. Even if it doesn't buy you happiness, neither does poverty buy you happiness. You are better off on the side of the money. And money is not the problem. Money is just a tool that takes you wherever you want to go to, but will never replace you as the driver. So the only thing you can do to money is actually to plan about it. And whenever there's no plan, you will not struggle. A plan will come up. Somehow people have a way. Situations have a way. Things in the supermarket, that dress has a way of calling you, inviting you, and all of a sudden you feel, this is what I was looking for, and I'm happy it's here. And you keep even a deposit. And then the rest is history. So without a plan, you will look at your statement, you look at your M-Pesa, you start auditing the SMSs. You go back and check, kwani zilingia zikuwa ngapi? How much came in? Then you say, okay, it was 50,000. That one I agree. You become an expert auditor. How much went out? Because you're checking 5,000, 2,000, 3,000, I fueled here, I did this and all that. So without a plan, you realize you start running when money is not enough for the next item. So a plan does a number of things. Number one, it gives you a realistic picture of what you are doing and how you are doing. Number two, it helps you to plan for what is coming. The types of, we have different kinds of income streams. It helps you to plan and become realistic on what is coming your way. And the other thing, it manages your expectations and the expectations of the people around you. Because you could be having money in the pocket, but you know this money, all of it is going to a certain need. So you actually don't have that money. So it gives you that reality check. And number 4, it helps you to plan for the future. Because money is limited, it's a scarce resource. You know that with this, I can only get to this far. And there are many models of budgeting in closing. There are many models of budgeting. I advise you to go and check online. There are some who will say you do 20, 30, 50, where you save 20%, you use 30%, which is discretionary. That's why you get also the tithe, the giving based on your lifestyle, your values, and what matters to you, and 50% on your expenses, which is now like the house rent, the fuel, health, education, and all that. So it's about a balance. I would not say there is one way of budgeting that is entirely the most perfect. The first thing, do you have a budget? You better have the wrong budget, but at least have a budget. Then it can become perfect along the way.
Thank you very much. This is how we appreciate the gentleman. Ahu.
Ahu.
Let's try for the gentleman. Ahu.
Ahu for the young person here to the gentleman, all right? Let's probably continue the conversation around, Erastus has mentioned planning. Yes, you have to have a budget, but you also have to plan. I will link it later with patience in terms of that particular planning. But for now, probably let's touch base a little bit on Rep Meso. So, like, your journey has been sequential. He mentioned something around patience, systematically. So understanding you've walked the ladder career-wise, step by step. For anyone within the panel, within the audience today who will be looking at how can I be progressive in my journey of empowerment? Could you share how yours was, how you navigated through challenges, and probably also in moments when it appeared like you didn't see empowerment coming, what did you, or rather, how did you go about it? Rev Mason, to you, please.
Thank you very much for this opportunity. And so, mine has been a long journey, but I have stood on the shoulders of women, empowered women, and of course men also, like you there. And that is why we are here. And for that reason, I felt like we should talk about how to get empowered, how knowing the law makes you empowered. Our topic today is, our theme for this seminar from Isaiah 60 verse 1 is, "Arise and shine, for your light has come." My sisters and a few brothers, arising and shining in this day and era is very difficult to happen when you don't know the knowledge in the law. The light is not only spiritual light, but also legal, societal, knowing things around you. When that happens, then you become equipped. It is not only for lawyers, it is for every daughter of God to know what the law in the society happens. So why should women know the law? I would encourage every woman to deepen their understanding of the government law and what goes on around us. It is our duty as Christians to know the law. We have seen the earlier women in the Bible, Deborah, Esther, they were all anchored in the law, and they were able to serve their societies at that time. So the Bible also tells us to speak up for justice. For example, in Proverbs 31:8, we have to respect authority, and that is why we need to know the government law, according to Romans 13, verse 1. And we have to defend the oppressed. So law is an integral part of our life. It is part of our life. we are commanded to know the law so that we can be able even to make those financial decisions that my brother is talking about, those plans that he is talking about, and even that empowerment. For example, we have so many rights which are violated. There are many rights which are violated, and we do not understand. If we are equipped, we are able to know that this is my right. Sometimes you go to buy a matchbox and you find some sticks have been removed. There are only a few of them inside there. Sometimes you buy bread, some slices have been removed. You know, there are some corny, crafty businessmen and women out there. So we need to know that we have rights. We have consumer rights. We have rights to protect us as women and as daughters of God. So for us to be empowered, and we all want to be empowered, along our journeys we have seen this. We have seen the need to know the law and what the law says. Don't even mind that in this country and elsewhere, ignorance of the law is not a defense. It is not a defense. If now I just slap my brother here and say that I didn't know it was wrong, I cannot be excused. I cannot be excused, and that is why we should know why we should know the law. It helps us to be empowered. In this country, we have rich laws empowering women. We have our constitution. We have the marriage and family laws. We have, laws protecting us from violence, employment and labor laws, and laws against discrimination. And if we don't know them, then they are just there for nothing. So we should do that, but do it with humility. I don't want to say that if I'm empowered now, I am tough and nobody can joke with me. You can be soft-spoken, like me, I should say, but still empowered, still knowing your rights. And then those rights should be limited. There is, this morning I was being told of somebody a lady was walking and talking on her phone, and she was almost being crushed by an oncoming car. And a man rushed and grabbed her out of the road and actually saved her life. Do you know she went to sue the man for harassment, that the way she grabbed her was not good. So we need to use it wisely, and that is why we should know the law so that we get empowered. Thank you.
Well, thank you very much for that. And in that continuity, right, from an empowering bit to from Erastus, the aspects of planning, let me come to you, Patience. And considering Erastus mentioned the importance of having a budget and planning. So let's look at it from a missions aspect. There are moments probably where you found yourself planning for a mission and there was a budget. And there are moments probably also you found yourself, yes, you have to drive the mission agenda, but there's no budget. So how did you balance the two, and probably what learnings could you have to share to the audience in reference to that? Yeah.
Thank you so much, Kevin, and thank you so much, the audience, for this opportunity. Let me begin by saying that mission is the heartbeat of God. God is the missionary par excellence. God is the ultimate missionary. We talk about missions, we call ourselves missionaries because God has sent us. So God, in his plan for the salvation of humanity, He chose to reach out to humanity through his Son, whom he sent, as we read in John 3:16, for God so loved the world. And we have so many other verses that talk about how God is constantly reaching out to the world. And God, in his divine economy, chose then to share his responsibility of reaching out to humanity, to other human beings. And that's why we as human beings, we are there as missionaries. And when I talk about we as human beings, I'm not saying those of us who are ordained, those of us maybe who are commissioned, those of us who are laid hands on. Mission is for the church. And the church of Christ is everybody who believes, belongs to the body of Christ, and therefore they are the church. So coming back to your question about how do we plan, contexts differ. I may speak in the context of an urban setup like this. And again, the urban setup is also different because in the Diocese of All Saints Cathedral, we have the well-to-do, allow me to use that, context, and we also have the poor neighborhoods. And yet, we are all in the same urban setup. So when we talk about planning for mission, it will be a different story for those like at All Saints and other urban well-to-do churches compared to our friends in Kibera and other informal settlements. Like currently where I am attached at St. Luke's Kenyatta, we are in our mission month. We began last Sunday, 26th, and we are going all the way to the 16th of November. And when you talk about planning, we met, discussed about the mission activities, and then we came to the budget. And then looking at the budget, we are like, well, this is almost coming to 200, 300,000. And this is not just the only activity of the church. And therefore, there we are with a budget, with clear mission activities, but where is the money going to come from? So planning is good, but also understanding the sources of funds is also very important. And looking at your audience and your constituents and asking yourself, are we able to meet this budget? If you are not in a position to meet this budget, then you ask yourself, what do we cut down? And that is exactly what we did. Because when we looked at what we had, we discovered this is mission impossible. So we had to decide we cannot do everything. We have to do what we can within our means. So doing mission within your means is the best way of doing missions. And I also sometimes teach. And one of the things I've challenged people, particularly when I go to parishes to prepare them for mission, is that sometimes you don't need money to do mission. Now, in my mind, mission is a wide topic because mission carries evangelism, mission carries discipleship, mission carries social action, and everything else that is done to reach out to humanity and help humanity live the life that God desires for them. That is mission. And therefore, when we think about mission, sometimes we just think about evangelism and discipleship, which again is okay, but that is just an aspect of it. But now going there, because I believe that is where we are, I said, you do mission within your means. How much do we have? We need 300,000, but we can only raise 100,000. So can we craft these activities to fit within our budget? Because by the end of the day, we don't want to be left with the debts. Therefore, that is what I would advise, that do it within your means. But again, as I said, sometimes I tell people you don't need finances to do evangelism. You just need to be willing yourself, go out there, meet someone, talk to them about Christ. You've walked, you've talked. How much have you spent? Maybe your energy, isn't it? Yes, and your time. And therefore, it depends with how we look at it. And it depends also how passionate we are to do mission. But planning and doing it within your means is the right way to go.
Thank you for that. I'll want to link it back to Rose to guide us on, and probably maybe to prompt a little bit based on time. I'll also wish to maybe take one or two questions from the audience, depending with whom probably you want to throw it to ensure that probably we achieve a bit of an engagement with the audience. So probably Rose.
Thank you very much, Kevin, and our panelists.
All right.
As you prepare your questions, when you look at Reverend Beatrice, because I've known her when she was a company secretary, she was flying high, when she was doing many other things, and you look at her and say, well done, well-kept woman. And at times, all of us, we look at our neighbor and say, oh, Mrs. Kabiru is looking very nice. I think she just got it right now. I just want you to share Beatrice. Allow me to call you just Beatrice. That's how we knew you before this story of Reverend came across. So just share with us some of the challenges as a woman in the industry. Because we see women lawyers, you know, the human activists, the human rights activists, and they are out there and they're speaking, and we are like, oh my God, they've made it to this. Could you share with us some of the challenges just in the industry, and especially for those who are in the marketplace as a Christian? What are some of the challenges that you face to make it to where you are, that you can walk tall in heels high and say, we are here? Asante.
Thank you. Women are unique. We face unique challenges. And in our marketplaces or in leadership positions, our challenges are again even more unique. And so we really need to put our ears on the ground. I think there's a political party that says "Skiza ground," isn't it? Yeah, we need to listen. We need to listen. That's why we have 2 ears and 1 mouth, isn't it? Yeah, so that we can talk less, but listen more and pay attention. As women, we are faced with very many challenges. And in fact, what I see, sometimes our rights are breached or we are wronged, and we don't say, I've seen, and especially as Christian women, if you make it to the court corridors, first of all, they don't even like to hear going to court. I know it is good to forgive, but not to just let people step on you and do what they want. So first of all, we leave it there, sitaki mambo mengi. And even in court, imagine somebody just says, mimi sisemi na nyamaza. We need to be empowered. We need to speak out. And more so, we need to speak out for the oppressed. So as women, there are so many challenges. There are so many challenges. There are issues of succession and inheritance. Without knowing that today, even the girl child is allowed to inherit, many women are disinherited because we do not know that we have the right, that if my father leaves property, even me, I'm equally entitled like my brother. But even as I say this, peace is the most important thing. Let there be peace. Let's not go fight our brothers and chase them out of the home. But we need to know that these are my rights. We are disinherited, and particularly in that area. Areas of family law and areas of children. Children are taken, women are traumatized. So those are really challenges that are very unique to women. Men may not face that. We have seen in the workplaces. There are some workplaces in the industry. I worked in the energy sector for long. and we used to advocate for, it is hard to work in the energy sector. The electricity is everywhere in this country, and some places are really very remote. They are part of us, but it's difficult to work there, and especially as a lady, you will find maybe there is only one washroom where you use both men and women. And one time I said, why should we, there should be facilities for women, and somebody said, after all, there is only one person in the toilet at any one time. What does it matter that that there should be many, each one for them? And I told them, we have unique challenges. Let's say there is no water in that toilet and something happens and I use it and I'm not able to maybe flush it. I will not come to that station. I'll run away and even leave that job because everybody will be knowing it is you. So those are really our unique challenges. In the workplace, we face various barriers that need to be attended to. Workplace rights, maternity leave, reporting harassment, and even negotiating salaries and contracts. We need to up our game, and we can only do this when we are knowledgeable. An empowered woman is able to go through all this. And now look at our leadership and politics. Do we know, fellow women, that we are underrepresented? Sometimes we don't want to run for office or to influence policy or even to advocate for gender equality. They have been trying to get us to those positions, and we are not able to. So we need to claim our space in a peaceful manner by rising up and equipping ourselves with knowledge. And then there are cultural norms and others that even discourage women from questioning. There are some of our norms which do not allow women to speak, isn't it? That wewe unaongea nani na wewe ni mwanamke. So we have those are our challenges. Even access to education, there are many barriers that help us, and we really need to stand up and claim this space. Thank you.
Want to?
That's really amazing, and a loud of applause for Beatrice Meso once again. And she has touched on cultural issues. And when I'm looking at Erastus, you trigger memories, both when I was born and when I was not born in the 70s and the 80s, where women could hardly be allowed to open a bank account. For those who are teachers, they used to earn their salaries through their husbands' bank accounts. Until even before the labor laws of 2007, for those who were in employment, we were not even able to contribute to NHIF. That is the current share. And so looking at the banking sector, Erastus, there are many challenges when it comes to access to finance for women. And for us women, we are saying we want affordable credit facilities. I don't know whether the financial institutions have any products that are looking specifically for women, because really, if you look at the population, you can be assured your customer base, the majority is women. Could you kindly clarify on that?
Thank you so much. And I think I cannot overemphasize on the need to have products that have gender lens, that are also focused on the needs of women and that are tailored and gender sensitive. And for sure, if you look at the banking sector in the old days, the women were excluded. If you look at our way of owning property and the barriers that also affect the way women are able to access finance, Again, very few women had collateral they can take to the bank, access to formal education, formalizing their businesses. So the barriers were quite significant. But if you look at today's banking sector, the needs of the women, the way they are being addressed, that has changed a lot. And a woman is able to access whatever a man can access, and even more. And if I would give an example, and my colleagues who are seated right across, and we have a tent out there where you can get more information, we have a women proposition within the bank, which we call she account. And she does not stand for gender. It actually rhymes with Isaiah 60, verse 1. She stands for see her empowered. So this being an empowerment forum, we want even the he to be there for she, and to make sure that the he for she ensures that the she is empowered. And so there are quite a number of things that have really changed. A woman can open any account. A woman can access any facility. But beyond that, we introduce another dimension where the same facility, the same application for a women-owned, women-led, women product business is different in terms of the amount of money you qualify for. A woman gets a higher limit. When you are doing unsecured of 6 million for an ordinary business, a woman gets 10 million. So you can borrow and finance our businesses as men. When you look at the interest rate, again, it's different. When you look at the programs of empowerment, within the women club that we run, there are 4 major things we do, and one of them is access to sustainable finance. But then women go beyond just financing. We have a program for empowering them through education. So we do capacity building, we do mentorship and coaching. We also realize there's another need that women are telling us that they want to have. And the other thing we've done for the women is to give them access to the market. Every year we take the women out, women only, to just go to other markets and see what's happening there. 3 months ago, we took them to Zambia for a conference called the Inspire Me Conference. Last year, it was being held here. Over 10,000 women online and physically joined. Just for them to connect with other women where ABSA operates, because we're in 10 countries in Africa. We want to see women within Africa trading with other women where we have those markets, and we can become the gateway to that. The other year, we took them to Ghana. Again, there's some women in Kenya who are exporting coffee to Ghana, who are exporting products to Ghana, just giving them access. Estonia, USA. We had women, a group of women who went to South Africa. And when they go to those other countries, they find women who are empowered. So in the spirit of the theme of arising and shining, for you to arise, it means you are breaking something. And for you to shine, it's better for you to be empowered. And I think when your pocket is loaded, you shine better, because money empowers you to do better things. So my urge and my appeal is for the women, don't limit yourself, because we say in ABSA that your story matters. And women create stories, and they are the best storytelling human beings that ever existed. If you look at most of the innovations that we are having, I was looking at the data. The people who are exporting avocado, the ones who want to extract avocado oil and coffee, we did an exhibition, over 70% were women. I was extremely impressed. They have stepped into manufacturing. They are doing those jobs that Reverend Beatrice was talking about, that they were being locked out. They are doing massive things, and they're getting even much more than what a man can get. So my promise to the women in the room is that there's nothing that should hold you. Look at what everyone else is doing, development partners, the government, even the church. I mean, when there's the last time you heard about a men's conference where all of them are there for the whole week and all that? We only hear about it on one particular day in February. And it never happens. But look at the women, they come together. They do great things. So we have even set aside, you'll find even not just about even in ABSA, even in other banks, you'll find there's even a fund set aside for women to support them. If you look at our ratio in leadership, men to women are actually more. So we are saying that there's no woman who should be left out just because she's a woman. A woman can do it, a woman should get it, and when one woman benefits, the ecosystem, the trickle-down effect is better, and they're able to reach out to many more people within the ecosystem. And in closing, the other thing we've observed from the data is women, when it comes to paying their loan facilities, the faithfulness in paying and also in saving. Because of this, sometimes a woman will feel insecure. They are good in keeping money aside for a rainy day than even the men. So that secures the family, that secures the church, secures the missions, and ensures that tomorrow there's a foundation that can even help them to start businesses.
Awesome. So, empower woman, you empower? The what? Some are saying village. Oh, thank you for the panelists. They're saying empower the whole world. And yes, it is, because we've come from far, from the 70s and the 80s, and now we can say there are those who fought for us, so we cannot stop the fight, and not fighting physically, but fighting through the policy framework, fighting by being present in the room when decisions are being made, ensuring you raise your voice when you hear things which are said by the other gender. They are not favorable. We'll go to question and answer, but before then, write your questions down. You have a notebook, please write on a clean page. We may not respond to all of them, but we are genuine. Write the question, put your telephone number or your email address. I can tell you for sure you'll have these panelists respond to you, if not today, by tomorrow. So please write, we'll sample 3 questions. But before then, I think, patient, you're not lucky with me, because women minister. I remember a while back when one Canon Maura wanted me to join the ministry and become a deaconess. I looked at him and said, Canon, please allow me not to burn because of the sins of others. Let me just deal with my own self. But that's not a famous saying. Or what I'm asking patients, I know before, for us to hear a woman, a minister, oh my God, we used to see only the gentlemen around. There are challenges even when many, let me confirm these grounds are peaceful, they're safe for you to share, so that you're free to share with these women, so that you attract more to join a ministry. So what are some of these challenges, and how have you been able to overcome them as a woman? Most likely in your village, you're the only girl who went to the theological school, and now you're here. Just a bit, before I share, my co-moderator is younger. And there was a reason, because he's going down to get the questions. So Kevin, you'll go down and get the questions as patients' response to that, kindly.
All right. Thank you. Well, I'll just share from my perspective and context, but I know there are many others. We have Bishop Rose here, who has been there before me. We also have other clergy who are older than me, and they can share more than what I have, because I think my context is a bit lenient in terms of the challenges, because I don't have many years in terms of those years when the women were really barred from ministry. I think I came in at a time when God had already begun opening, having been brought up in the Diocese of Mombasa. And that time when I went to Bible college, there was a discussion about women ordination in Mombasa Diocese. They had not accepted then. And by the time I finished my 3 years, I think the debate was over. So for me, it was a walk in terms of absorption into ministry, but challenges in terms of now how do you navigate the ministry itself is what I would share as an individual. Because again, when you go into the ministry, you don't expect to be favored. Like what my sister was saying, that there's only one toilet, why can't we have 2? I don't think in women ministry you would want to begin saying, don't you think I am a woman, I can't be sent into that parish? Don't you think I am a woman, I need to be given a higher salary because my needs are many? So you have to go into it with understanding that it is God who called you, and therefore the same God who called you will give you the grace and the strength to be able to maneuver through everything and be able to do the work that God has called you. So basically, I would say the challenges are the same, and particularly having come from a rural diocese, I started earning 5,000. That was my salary. And from that 5,000, I was supposed to pay rent of 3,500. So you can imagine what was I left with. As a lady, I needed to get a new dress. So what am I going to eat? Then I was coming from a family where I am the first girl. And therefore, my father was looking forward for me to be sending money. You know, I come from that generation where you educate a child so that they can, yes. So I remember one time my mother had to talk to me and say, "You've been working for 3 months now. Your father is really complaining that you've not sent them anything." And I was like, God, does he really know what I'm going through? Because it wasn't even enough for myself. Yes. Anyway, I know even men share the same. It's not like it's a ladies' thing. But speaking it from the ladies, I think ladies have more challenges because of the many needs. You also know even bringing up a girl is not the same as bringing up a boy because girls have so many needs. And therefore, understanding yourself and understanding the ministry and the calling and focusing on what is more important, I think for me is what takes us through and enabling us to become a blessing to God's people. And as God opens doors for now, good remuneration, then you can be able to plan more and continue to share more because again, needs are there. From yourself, now a family woman. So my family, I have siblings behind me, and therefore being able to also take care of them. I have the church, and amongst the church, you have people who are really needy, and therefore being able to say, God, what do you want me to do? And then you do what God wants you to do, and that which you cannot do, it is not yours, it belongs to God. And therefore you let God do it because again, you are not the only one. There are many other people that the Lord would want to use. Otherwise, I would want to end by saying the grace is sufficient.
Indeed, the grace is sufficient. Over to you, Kevin.
The grace is sufficient. That's the journey of resilience. But I differ with what you're saying, that it's only ladies and women who go through challenges. Are there any men in this house other than me on this stage who go through challenges? Any man? Yeah, I see my brother Seth is here. At least. Any other man from the back? Anyone? We go through challenges. Like, do you know what it means to date when you're broke? That's on a lighter note. We've got like about, is it 10 minutes? I really want to ensure we have some Q&A from the audience. Is there anyone who's ready? Anyone? I see this hand up. Let's see, let me come. All right. Any other, so that you can just maximize on them? Can I see, have I seen any other hand? So it's 1, 2, and 3. All right, cool.
My question is to Erastus Muthura of ABSA. You talked about having workshops for women. If I would ask around here, are there women who know about these workshops which ABSA is giving? Because you also talked about the different whatevers you give for women. Has there been any communication? Because I've not seen anything coming from ABSA saying that we will give women this and we'll give women that. And from the first presentation, the Bible exposition, whatever it's called, the bishop said that women live under the shadow of fear. So, and you also said yours is that to arise means to break something. Maybe you can explain to us what this means, because how do we empower the women so that they know, so that they can arise, so that they can break something? So thank you.
Please take key of that. Let me take the next two, then we can collectively answer them all. Somebody here had, okay, sure.
Praise God. My name is Vivian, Nairobi Diocese. My question goes to actually the three panelists that we have. I'd like to start with Sir Erastus. Sir Erastus, how would you rate as the male chauvinism in accordance to giving us as women the loans? How would you rate it? Is it because that you've discovered that we are the backbone of the nation, we are the backbone of empowerment, or is it because you feel that it is at the right time that ABSA is now coming out to support the women? And to Reverend Meso, you talked about law, and I came to a scenario. A scenario came to my mind of a friend of mine whose charmer was taking actually one of them to the courts because of payment. Remember, these are Christians, these are believers, and I don't know which gospel we are riding on. Is it they forgive the debts or they give Caesar what belongs to Caesar? You'll expound on that. And to Reverend Patience, thank God for you being in the missions. I'd like you to tell us in plain and bold truth, how are we women supporting the mission work? Can you really tell us how are you rating us in our participation physically, materialistic, and financially? Are we women just here for the conference, or do we come out in the missions? And if we don't come out for the missions, do our finances count, or is it the karma that really uplift us when we call for contributions toward these missions? Thank you.
All right, so let me take one last one, then I'll take it back to, is someone calling me on this side? All right, so let me take the last question. I hope it's 3. I didn't see any burning hands. All right, cool.
My name is Pauline. I come from All Saints. And my question is to Reverend Meso. You talked of women knowing their rights. And this time I want to ask a question about the widows. Can a daughter-in-law inherit a property of a father-in-law in the absence of a husband? And if it's possible, how can this be done without causing a conflict?
Thank you. Was there any other burning person who had a cue before I take it back? All right, I'm not seeing, and probably one last one to you, Meso. Considering you had mentioned that women are still underrepresented, it could feel uncomfortable. But I was just online today in the morning, and there's so much bashing because of what's happening in Tanzania. And it's simply because the president is a woman. Probably in your closing bits, you could feel free to build into that and response the same. Oh my goodness. Okay. Nigerian team, please, will request for like just 5 questions here. All right, so how do we disciple teenagers, youths, and young adults who's in their life from conception, seeds were not sown and they still feel like they're left out of church? Kindly respond in relations to new culture. And that's from Jerusha Karanja. Thank you, I've acknowledged that. Then there's one from Nancy Chege. All right. And this is a sorrow one, so probably let me just take it in a calm voice. I'm a cancer victim. I have a title deed. I would like to secure a loan to construct a house for my children in case I'm not there, so that they can find a place. So the lady has left a personal number, so for the sake of also discipleship, I'll wish to request that she's also reached out, and probably Erastus, I'm also thinking this question was directed to you, and Rosa will wish to delegate this to you. The number is there for intentional follow and checkup. And this is the last one. I'm an empowered, this is centered on empowered women. I am in mid-management, and for a long time, I really admired being a leader, only to get into the corporate leadership and got highly disappointed. men especially pitting women against each other, men leaders, of course, favoring a select few, and these in terms of assignments, probably to even given allowances. How do women stop fighting each other and unite? I look at even the politics example, Nakuru County, where the governor, the governor, the senator, and the women ecosystem. So probably that's maybe to you, Meso, in terms of an empowered woman, the fights and the politics, how to navigate on that. Please do your best to ensure we fit within time, because I know we are done.
Okay, I think I can go first with her question. And she had two questions in one. The first one was, how do we break? And what is this we are breaking from? Because you got to break from something if you are rising and shining. And I think for me, I will call it mentality. Because Hosea 4:6, my people perish for lack of knowledge. So an empowered woman is not whose pocket is full, but whose head is full of ideas, is full of solutions, is seeing positive things, and then goes to implement. Because you first win in the mind before you win physically. And the greatest barriers we have in the world are not physical, they are mental barriers. And these mental barriers are a creation that just because I am a woman, just because I am disadvantaged. It is also a stereotyping issue where one might think because there's a woman doing this, then maybe they can do better. But women have proved otherwise. So the first thing to break from is from the mentality of gender-based disadvantages, thinking that you can't do it. And that also comes to money, and this applies to every other person. The first thing you overcome when you're dealing with money is the mentalities we have about money, because of what we were taught, what we are exposed to, and the way money has been demonized. That money, you can only prosper if you go to Illuminati. I don't want a lot of money because people will say I'm a devil worshiper. It is not true. When you get the money, then the story changes. So the first thing to encounter is how you relate with money and knowing that God has put us there as stewards. And the Bible says in 1 Timothy 6:10 that the love of money is the root of all evil. So money is not evil. Money is okay, money is good. But the love of money, where many have erred from the faith and pierced themselves with many sorrows. So we pierce ourselves for the love of money. But money is just a tool where God has made us stewards of. But money is okay. It facilitates things, makes the world move, makes things happen. So when you look at now what you're talking about breaking from, even as a woman, it is even taking charge. Just like the women who are seated here have said, I can go out there and serve God, I can be in the ministry, I can go out there even in the corporate and become an agent of change. And I think the second one was tied to what all these products, solutions, trainings, mentorship, coaching, access to finance, access to opportunities, because we also give women access to opportunities. Sometimes we also get even tickets. So we want women who are in manufacturing, we want women who are in export of fresh produce to be sponsored for a certain event, for a certain trip, for a conference and all that. In most cases, we communicate through branches, and we also communicate through our social channels. Just like if you go and find out about this conference, there's a woman who doesn't know about it. Yet we believe we have announced it all over. But someone who actually visits your pages will be able to see that, or who is in any of the branches. So in most cases, this information, you find it online, you find it within the branches, you find it within the staff who are there, but we post a lot about the upcoming events, and I would encourage you also to check what will be coming in the next one. I think the other question that was asked was about even who has benefited in the trips, and also in the facilities and loans. And in the interest of not disclosing, I'm sure we can say that we want to see who has gotten a loan from here. But trust you me, there are quite a number of women who are doing and who are here, who are our customers. I was looking at also the records at our tent, and quite a number of you have visited who are our existing customers. And I encourage all of us also to visit our tent, and also to see two of our staff seated there, my colleagues. You can have a chat with them for you to get even more information. I think the other one was about what she was asking about, whether when you even come to the bank, you are being looked at in terms of you are a woman and all that. We have policies and we have guidelines. We also have targets, and targets try to drive performance and behavior. We have scorecards. And when we say we have put aside a certain amount of money as a target that should go to women, When you come to the bank, we look at you in terms of an opportunity for us to make a difference for a business that is being run by a woman, owned by a woman, or producing a product used by women, or impacting women, or employing over 50% women. All those parameters are set in the system. The moment you key in those parameters, it qualifies to be a women-led business where we look at you and give you the product based on what is in the law. So you will not be discriminated. It's in the interest of the branch manager to actually get more women, because we get statistics, we keep data, we want to know how many women have we touched, how many have we trained, how many have we empowered. Then the reciprocal effect downstream, when you affect a woman, how many indirectly have you empowered? But I think the greatest thing, and my parting shot, what I would tell our women is, when you change the way you look at things, the things you look at change. And money is not what makes you rich. It's the way you look at it and how you treat it. It is our behavior towards the money. And we say money is not bad, money is good. But the love of money is what differentiates, because money is a potential idol. It is a tool God has given us to use for our day-to-day, because money dictates your choices. And money does not get finished. It only changes residence, moves from one place to another. It does not change people. It only reveals who they are. So people don't change because they have the money. They get exposed when money comes in.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. Meso, to you, please.
Thank you. There are quite a number of questions. The first one was on, there was one on whether we should forgive or give Caesar what belongs to Caesar. So this course, this talk here on empowerment, right from my brother here, just told us how to plan and look at things wisely and with dignity. So if I am borrowing in Chama, and we thank God for Chamas and the way women have organized themselves, we should be able to pay. We need to conduct ourselves with dignity. And yes, choices have consequences. We were told here in Kenya that choices have consequences. So if I choose to borrow money with the intent of not returning, then I'm not being fair, am I? I'm not being fair to my sisters who are in that Chama, so they can take action. I don't know if, but as Christians, there is a way. Before you reach courts, it is prescribed in the Bible, isn't it? There is a first stage. If that one doesn't work, you go to a second stage. And there is a third one. If those ones fail, you go to court. And even in court, you go to the Court of Appeal and the High Court and the Supreme Court. But we need to resolve our differences. Most importantly, let us conduct ourselves with dignity and make decisions as empowered women. Make decisions. If I'm borrowing 10 shillings, sure, I should be able to know that I'll be able to pay. And if maybe something has happened that makes me not to pay, my sisters should also understand. You know, we are human at the end of the day, but let us not be fraudulent. We are baby girls, so we should not defraud each other or be unfair to each other. Now, there was a question on inheritance of a father-in-law's property by a widow of the son. Succession matters are very complex. Here at All Saints, we've had various sessions. I've been a participant. My colleague, Masimwangi, we have facilitated generally on succession, family matters, property, and given some knowledge to the Mothers Union. And these sessions are good. We should encourage them. Now, yes, it is possible to inherit, but as to how, it is a whole procedure. I cannot even say it here. I don't know whether the father-in-law left a will or the father-in-law didn't leave a will, whether the matter goes to court or it was decided by the elders. But yes, it is possible. However, I would want to talk to the person who asked further. You can come and see me. These matters are very confidential, and also property matters and succession matters are very emotive. So we need to talk over a cup of tea. I have also a similar question, which I'll read here. But you are in a marriage that lasted for over 20 years, and a man brings in another woman, and your marriage is not legalized. How do you separate your properties that you acquired together? Again, that's a complex question. One of the reasons why we need to be empowered by knowing the law is even to know how to legalize our marriages, how to register our marriages, how to live in marriages which are recognized by the law of the country, other than maybe come we stay. There are complications, 20 years is a long time. So in the law, there is something we call presumption of marriage. If you have lived together peacefully for all that time, you are presumed to be married. People have been seeing you waking up from that house every day. So it is presumed. But again, as I've said, this is a complex. Sometimes the other woman who was brought may also, you will be surprised, has also had 20 years. It really happens that somebody has two families and all that. So these issues are complex, and every case is specific, and it has its own treatment. I think there was the other one on the mid-management. Which one?
Yes, it was one on mid-management or something, and how to deal with conflict.
Yes.
The politics at the workplace.
Yes.
Yeah. Politics in the workplace, and probably just to prompt in Rev at the far end, please make it short so that we could conclude, because our time is up. So, yeah. Or you can also touch on it if you...
Okay, so conflicts in the workplace, again, we should work together in harmony. What I know, ladies, we should stop these cat fights. We should pray for each other and pull each other's hands up. In mentorship, as the youth who was here before said, the older women should mentor the younger women. There is room for us. There is space for all of us. We should not feel jealousy and unnecessary competitions and petty jealousies. We should hold each other's hands and bring each other up. And the key to this, the biggest tool to this, is prayer, praying for each other and for harmony. And then just having fair work practices. I see in this case, they said it is the men who are engineering this, that they favor other women and not others. Yeah, so they should be put in their place. There should be fairness. There should be fairness. The HR practitioners here in our workplaces, let us rise up and make sure that practices are fair.
Thank you. To you.
Okay, mine will be very short. I think the first question was how women are supporting missions. Let me begin by saying that statistically, women are the majority in the church. They are more than a half. So owing to that, then women are very key in the existence of the church, in the growth of the church, and even in missions. How are they involved physically? The Mothers Union is an arm of mission. And I don't need even to say much. Look at what they do every day from Monday to Sunday. I believe the Lord is using them to do a lot, and that is part of mission. And I would just want to say congratulations. Continue to do God's work and do it to the glory of God. Financially, again, the numbers speak. Because the more they are, the more they give, I want to believe. Well, maybe some of them may not be financially able to give a lot, but I believe they are givers. But that does not mean then we should stop. I want to encourage us, let us continue to support God's work, because our labor in Christ is not in vain. The other one is a bit complex, but I think it was answered in the earlier plenary session, about how do we disciple teenagers, youth, and young adults whose life from conception, they have not been nurtured in the faith. So I think that's why missions are there, because mission is about reaching out. So if we reach out to these teenagers, young adults, and bring them to church, then we begin walking with them like the way you have a baby in your first day, trying to understand this baby, feeding this baby until they are able to grow. I believe they are souls that Christ died for them, and therefore understanding them and beginning with them from where they are is the way to go and to bring them up in the ways of the Lord. That is what I would say in short.
Thank you very much to our panelists. Can we give them some hearty round of applause? And for me, it's just much appreciation to the church, to the ministry that also had me on board here. My name is Kevin Randiek, and just to cue you in, there are 2 workshops coming in after this particular panel. So please, you'll be directed. I see Njeri on the back end for us. So I'll want to appreciate you having us. I'll want to throw it back to Rose to close it for us. And can you cheer up and say thank you to the man here, Young? Oh, thank you. And to Rose, again, thank you, Rose. Please close it to us and give it to Njeri.
Erastus, Beatrice, and Patient, we are so much appreciative for sharing your knowledge with us. We do not take this for granted. If you've not set an objective for this conference, set one for yourself. My biggest is networking. So all of you, you are my network. So if you leave here without knowing my name, my number, and my email address, you are at a loss. I'll also make an effort of sharing that with me. Allow me to read a closing statement. The role of women in the 21st century is inestimable, unstoppable, and rapidly gaining momentum. The movement right now is about women centered on leadership, empowerment, advancement, and development. Those are not my ones, but of this book that is available at the exhibition, plus other books on Christianship and marriage mathematics. Please, I would want to encourage all of us to go out there and serve with humility. Let's continue being empowered every day by attending such sessions. Please don't miss out tomorrow and Sunday as we close. We must not, as women, we must not be the song that was never sung. I thank you.
Thank you. Thank you to the panelists. Let's celebrate each one of them. Let's celebrate them again.
We're just taking a nice photo.
Thank you so much. Rose and team, thank you. Thank you so much. Kindly. Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you. Let's give them an applause. No, don't. Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you. And let's give them a round of applause. Thank you for your time, and thank you for your patience. We are now going to move into the workshops. We have one person from Soil Merchants who is going to come and give us just a little bit. They are one of our sponsors. Give them 5 minutes, and then we'll move into the next session. Thank you.
Good afternoon. My name is Beatrice from Soil Merchants. We Soil Merchants, we have a tent outside here. We have been in business for the past 20 years. We started from selling plots, selling houses. We have houses, bungalow houses outskirts of Nairobi. That is Kitengela, Kiserian, and in Kamulu. Right now we are doing apartments in Ngara. Our apartments are opposite Pioneer University. We have studios, 1 bedroom and 2 bedrooms. Studio we are selling at 2.9, and we have a payment plan of up to 3 years. You do 10%, the balance you pay within 3 years. We have an apartment that we are renting it out. If you have a child, you have a son or a daughter who is in university, we have studios on rent. You can visit. Our show houses are ready for viewing. Anytime that you feel you need to visit us, our show houses are there, and we have our offices in Muranga Road, so you can visit us. We are trying to make sure that we are covering the part of giving out houses in the city center. So feel free to talk to us. Our studio apartment is very big. It's 315 square feet. And the market price for the studio apartments in Ngara is also very high. So you can visit us anytime. Karibuni sana, tumeambiwa kazi ni ya wamama. Wamama karibuni sana, you purchase an apartment and we will feel good to sell a house for you. Karibuni.
Thank you so much, Martha Mukuru, for your time. And you can always speak to her. She'll be at the tents, as also the other exhibitors are there. And now we are moving into the next session. For those who walked in, perhaps in the afternoon, my name is Anne Jerry, together with my co-MC, Pauline Guyai. We are here to serve you. The ushers are around to help you. Now we are moving into the next session. But just allow me to make an announcement. If you're a purely Swahili speaker, meaning you're not able to understand English, please, we will have you go to workshop 2, which is Nurturing a Healthy Lifestyle, which is at St. Thomas, St. Mary. Again, if you're a purely Swahili speaker, meaning you do not speak English, you will move into the MPH. So MPH is just outside. And then the media for the navigating social media and technology, they will remain here. So I'll ask us just to rise up and go to whichever session you want. Sorry, 1 minute for the, 1 minute. Haya, kwa wale waongee Kiswahili, Kiingereza. Thank you. Kwa wale waongei Kiingereza, kutakuwa mkutano nyingine hapo nje kwenye mkono wa kulia baada ya It will be about health and wellness. Tafadhali mtu atanisaidia, but kama wako karibu na wewe, tafadhali waongeleze. Let us break, please. So we will all be back here at 5:45, so immediately after your workshop. Baada ya workshopi, utaenda kukunywa chai. What a challenge. Thank you so much. God bless you. The workshops, okay. We
explain them. Okay. Just say we have 2 workshops, one there and in St. Thomas, not everywhere.
So again, let us rise. There are 2 workshops. If you're in the navigating social media and technology, please remain here. Hiyo yenye itakuwa hapa itakuwa kwa Kiingereza peke yake. Kama unaongea Kiswahili or you are careful about your health, the other workshop, Nurturing and Healthy Lifestyle, will be outside at St. Thomas. The entrance is just by the toilet.
You're inviting them.
We invite you.
You're telling them if you are, as if one or this one?
So let's stand so that we can have some movement and nurturing a healthy lifestyle. Next door, there'll be a Swahili interpreter. Social media, we remain here.
Please do not look tired. There are 2 wonderful workshops happening right now. If you want to know about health, nurturing a healthy lifestyle, St. Thomas, there are 2 wonderful, beautiful looking ladies. The ones you want to look like when you grow up. Go there, they'll tell you how to look like that. For those of you who are my age and other ages who do not understand social media and the way it works, your workshop is here. So choose. Do you want to know about health or do you want to know about social media navigating it? Social media, stay here. For health and living longer and healthier, St. Thomas, out that door, first door on your right. Please move because we start our evening session at 5:45 and we don't want you to miss. So please move. Some of you please go for health. Some of you go and learn about health. I kid you not. If you're hitting 60, you do not want to know about social media. It passed you a long time ago. But you do want to know how you will extend your life and live a healthy lifestyle without needing a caregiver. So let's go, my elders. Let's go for health. Social media for the rest in here. Let us move. For social media, can we have that panel coming up now? Led by Seth Olale. Hey, Seth Olale is in the house. Who knows Seth Olale? Say ahoo. Who the men say ahoo.
I'm hopeful that